Hey, welcome back to a beginner's guide to using WordPress. In this lesson, you'll learn about discussion, media, and permalink settings. So let's begin.
The discussion settings allow you to tweak how comments are displayed. So if we go here, the first setting says attempt to notify any blogs linked to from the article. Basically, if you check this box and you write an article and you link to a specific site or article from another site, then WordPress will try to send out a ping to that site. And if that site allows pingbacks, then your mention will be shown next to the comments for that article. And then it's your turn to specify whether or not to allow link notifications. And then you have a more general option that says allow people to post comments on new articles. You can turn off comments for individual posts and pages, just like you learned in the previous lessons, but you can also make it like a general rule. Then you have some additional settings for the comments. You can set whether or not to require a name and an email. Then, if you only want to allow registered users to comment, you can check this box. So, for example, right now, if I go to a blog and I log out, I can still comment on this page. But if I log back in and I select this option, hit save, I get a message saying you must be logged in to post a comment. Let's see what else. You can automatically close comments on articles that are older than 2 weeks. And you can specify the number of days here if you want. And then there's a thing called threaded or nested comments. Basically, this tells you how deep you can go with comments. So if you have a comment from user A and then user B comments to that and user C comments to user B, then basically you have 3 levels. If you also want user D to be able to respond to user C, then you gotta go 5 levels, and so on. Next, you can break comments. So if you have an article with a lot of comments, you can break those into pages, and you can specify how many comments you want per page. And then you can choose whether to display the last or the first page by default. Choosing the last page will display the most recent comments. Choosing the first page will display the oldest comments. Here you can tell WordPress to send you an email when a comment is posted. Then you have some options for how comments are approved. So you can either select to manually approve each comment, or if an author has previously commented and it was approved, then you don't have to approve it manually again. Further down, you have options for blacklisting comments. You can put anything in here like the name, the URL, the IP. If it contains any of these, then it will be marked as spam. And then further down, it gives you options to control the avatars. Now the avatar, let me log back in here and go to a post that has a couple of comments. Hello world, for example. So the avatar is this little icon that you see here, this little image. You can choose whether or not to show avatars. So here they are hidden. And then you can choose which avatar to show. By default, WordPress uses Gravatar. If you have a Gravatar account linked to a specific email address, then WordPress will look up that email address and return the associated avatar. But if a certain user does not have an avatar, you can choose what to display here by default. So if I choose Gravatar, these images will be updated. And that's basically what you can do from the discussion settings. Now, let's go to media. Media basically deals with image sizes and how you organize your uploads. So WordPress uses 3 sizes for images: a thumbnail, a medium, and a large size. And you can specify the dimensions here. And when you upload a new image, 3 versions of that image will be created: thumbnail, medium, and large. Next, you can select whether or not to organize your uploads into month and year-based folders. What this means is if we go to the WordPress installation folder, WP Content, Uploads, you're going to see a folder for 2014 and inside the 10th month. And here you can see all the uploads and you can see the sizes. So the original images that I've uploaded were quite large, but WordPress created a 150 by 150, which is the thumbnail size, and then a 300 by 199, which is a medium size, and then a large size, which is 1024 by 682. So if I were in a different month now, for example in November, and I would upload something, then WordPress would create a folder called 11 here, and it will upload those files into that folder, but only if I check this box. Otherwise, it's just going to upload them in the same folder basically. And that's it for the media settings. Finally, let's take a brief look at permalinks. Now, these will allow you to create nicer links that are more geared towards search engine optimization. For example, let's take a look at this Hello World post. Its link is this localhost/tuts+/p=1. And that's not a very SEO friendly link. What you can do instead is set the permalinks to be post name. So in this case, our post should be localhost/tuts+/hello-world. And that's much better. Now, using permalinks requires some special permissions from the server. And currently in this local version of MAMP, that doesn't really work. So if I hit save changes, it will update my permalink structure, but if I refresh my website, I'm going to have an error. It's going to say not found. And in fact, it won't work in any way. But when you're doing this on a live server and not on your local machine, it should work. If it doesn't, you can check out this link from the WordPress Codex on using permalinks. And this will offer at the very bottom, it's going to offer some solution for fixing permalink problems. But usually, if you have those problems, you're better off just talking to your server admin directly. So that's basically it on how to use the settings for discussion, media, and permalinks.
Next time, you'll learn about WordPress themes. So I'll see you there.